Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Azyan binti AZIZ, metric number 1811724. So let's begin with the introduction. Historically, Malaysia was popular in using buy-in contract in financial market institution, but it has caused many conflict when majority of scholar has a different view about the acceptability. To overcome this conflict, Tawarruq was introduced to replace by Al-Ina contract, and now the principle of Tawarruq contract has become more crucial. What are the examples of Tawarruq contract has been used in Islamic financial product? Firstly, deposit product. Secondly, financing. Thirdly, asset and liability management. Fourthly, product of risk management. Move to the definition. Tawarruq consists of two sales contracts. First, the sales of asset from the seller to buyer on the deferred basis. Second, the initial buyers sell the same asset to the third party on cash and on spot basis. There are three nature of Tawarruq contract. Firstly, each sales and purchase contract in Tawarruq is binding in nature and should not be terminated unilaterally by other contracting parties. Second, the common inherent nature of each sales and purchase contract in the Tawarruq is the transfer of ownership of the asset from the seller to the purchaser for a consideration. Thirdly, the sale and purchase contract in the Tawarruq may take the form of a murabahah or musawamah. What is musawamah? Musawamah is known as simple sale, which means the sale of the commodity at the cost price between contracting parties and commodity broker for same-day settlement. There are two concepts in Tawarruq contract. First is wakalah. Wakalah is a contract in which a party as principal, muwakil, authorize another party as his agent, wakil, to perform a particular task in matter that may be delegated with or without imposition of a fees. What are the essential elements in wakalah contract? First, must have contracting parties, wakil and agent. Second, subject matter, business or work. Thirdly, offer and acceptance contracts. Second is murabahah contract. It is a sales and purchase of an asset where the acquisition cost and the markup are disclosed to the purchaser. What are the essential elements in the contract? First, must have a contracting parties, sales and buyers. Second, offer, ijab and acceptance, kabul. Thirdly, subject matter, commodity. Fourth, price, exchange value. There are 5 legal requirements. First is, Islamic financial institutions shall establish a comprehensive governance and oversight framework to ensure that a Tawarruq is conducted based on the practices and comply with Shariah. Second, Islamic financial institutions should ensure that the structuring and implementations of a Tawarruq contract is supported by comprehensive policies, procedures, processes, adequate infrastructure, and robust documentations. Thirdly, they should implement a sound and integrated risk management system to effectively manage risk in line with the Islamic financial institution risk appetite throughout the life cycle of the Tawarruq contract. Fourth, Islamic financial institutions should also undertake a Tawarruq in a fair and transparent manner in the line with Shariah to protect stakeholder interests. Last, Islamic financial institutions should provide adequate disclosure and transparency to facilitate stakeholder understanding and assessments of a Tawarruq contract. So there are 6 Shariah requirements of Tawarruq. First, each sale and purchase contract in Tawarruq should satisfy all the necessary conditions of a valid sales and purchase contract under Shariah. Second, All sales and purchase contract in the Tawarruq should be executed by entering into a separated and independent sales and purchase contract. Thirdly, execution of each sales and purchase contract in the Tawarruq must be respectively evidenced by appropriate documentation or record. Fourth, the purchase in each sales and purchase contract in the Tawarruq should have the right to take the delivery of the asset. And the fifth is the sales of the purchase contract in the Tawarruq should not contain any term and condition that restrict the purchaser from taking delivery of the assets to create an obligation for the purchaser to sell the underlying asset. And lastly, payment of any amount of the deferred selling price including profit should not be made to the seller before entering into the sale and purchase contract.
Hi, I'm Siti HAJAR binti Azyan, mention number 1814244. I will proceed with the operational requirements. There are 5 important points which are governance and supervision, structuring, risk management, business and market products, and finally financial disclosure. Okay, first, governance and oversight. In this policy, there are several positions responsible for carrying out their respective roles to implement the Tawarruq. Board of Directors should match the nature, scale, complexity, and risk profile of the Tawarruq. Next, the Shariah Committee is responsible for ensuring all activities accordance with the Shariah. And another one is the senior management, is to manage the business strategy. Secondly, structuring is head a Shariah compliance, purpose, contracting parties, offer and acceptance, assets, price, settlement, arrangement of the wakalah and dual agency, arrangement with a promise and other assurance, arrangement of the rebate, and the arrangement of the Tawarruq with the compensation and or penalty. Thirdly, risk management. There are different types of risk such as market, liquidity, and operational risk. Fourth is the business and market product. Is a consistent of the fair transaction, information disclosure, documentation. And finally, for financial disclosure, is a must maintain the adequate accounting and other records. Next, for the operational application in the Islamic financial institutions. Generally, the concept of the Tawarruq contract is like this picture. First, Islamic financial institution will purchase the commodities in the cash with the trader A, and then trader A will transfer the commodity of ownership. Next, Islamic financial institution sells the commodity of the deferred price to the counterparty, and then the counterparty transfer the commodity of ownership. Next, the trader B sells the commodity in cash, and lastly, the counterparty transfer the ownership to the trader B. In addition, the Tawarruq use the Bursa Suq al-Asilah. When the market opens, banks will bid the price and the suppliers for the commodity will line up from the suppliers A, B and C and will be matched with the trading and the clearing engine. After the bidding, MSM will be sold to the Islamic Bank A through the broker A. Next, the trading and clearing engine will ensure the delivery of the commodity and the confirmation of the trade will be sent to all parties. Islamic Bank A will sell the commodity to the Islamic Bank B on a delayed basis. Then the Islamic Bank B will be sell to the commodity to the trading and the clearing engine through the broker B. So the ownership will be transferred. Finally, the trading and clearing engine will be sell to the commodity to the buyer based on the bid price. Then for the gap analysis, we compare the theory and the practice from a case study of the Malaysia Islamic banking system. First, from the theory, it is said that the concept of the Tawarruq is the same of the concept of bay'inah, which is the commodity returned to the original seller. But in practice, it is different from the concept of bay'inah because the Tawarruq concept is used to the commodity to be sold to a third party. In addition, in the theory also said that it is just dual agency like deposit and financing, while in practice, the agency gets the money for money where is prohibited in Islam. Next, ownership of the asset must be in the physical possession in the theory, whereas in the practice, commodity exchange in just document sent from one place to another place. So, it is noticed that no physical transfer of ownership on the underlying asset. Finally, in theory, it must pay the cost and profit only, while for practically, two separate prices in the one transaction. For example, charge for delivery is also applied. Lastly, in conclusion, as we know, the Tawarruq is the one of the products that Islamic finance is using more frequently in the Islamic banking industry. Tawarruq contracts plays a significant role in its function in the banking industry. Tawarruq was introduced as a replacement to the INA contract. It has been updated by almost all Islamic banks in Malaysia. However, using Tawarruq will have several problems and unethical. So, it is recommended that Bursa Suq Al-Sila institution in deal with the Shariah problems brought on by the Tawarruq contract. It takes advantage of equity-based products provided by the Bank Negara Malaysia to the hub banks manage the liquidity efficiently. Here are the references we do for this assignment. That's all from us. Thank you.